failed to adequately respond to recommendations from 40 previous inquiries into Aboriginal youth suicide. In the state's Goldfields Esperance region, almost every Aboriginal family has been affected in some way by suicide. The town of Leonora has decided to tackle the problem head-on, talking openly about the challenges facing their community. And they invited Lateline's Tierney Benini and Brant Cumming to hear their stories. And a warning to our Indigenous viewers that this report contains images and names of deceased people.
I should have thought this through. I didn't want you all to hurt. Now everyone's in pain and I'm lying in the dirt. People are asking, why did he do it? Only I know where it began. Now it is over. Gone too young.
Original, heart of gold. He was one of a kind, beautiful smile. You know, he would give his shirt off his back to anyone, not a worry. You know, well, I thought he had not a worry. But obviously something was worrying him. For him to not be here anymore. Guess I just want to keep his memory alive, you know. So I like wearing his shirts, you know. Need a piece of him. Just to show people he'll never be forgotten. The pain is every day, every minute of the day. Like the worst nightmare ever. Sometimes can't breathe. And I ask God, why? What did I do? If I could have done anything different, you know. Sometimes I feel I failed being a mum. You know. Splitting up with his father. I feel like I let them down.
I'd run myself down and say that I'm not a good person and like everything's your fault, why do you have to be like this? And it got to the point where everything I'd talk about was about doing suicide and hurting myself and just not being around. Are you sad now? It's like this. Do it again. I told my sister, my smaller sister, told her, you lock this door, you don't open it for no one. You wait for them other girls to come back before you open this door, because right now, this year could be the last time that you see me. I could go out this door and not come back. And when I went out and I looked back, I seen her crying. And then I sat there and I thought to myself, I don't want to do that. Like, selfish and it's wrong. I seen tears from her eyes when I went out that door. And that's what stopped me. Because I'm really close with her, and if it was someone that I wasn't close with, I'd just be like, who really cares? No one cares. And I would have did it. But looking at my little sister and seeing the tears in her eyes, I do believe that she understood what I was talking about. Like, she may not have seen someone doing that kind of stuff, but I reckon she would have sensed it and seen that I was very unhappy, and, you know. She is the reason why I stopped, because I don't want her to grow up without a sister, without someone being there for her when she goes through things like this, you know? Yeah.
There was a terrible time around end of last year where we had a spate of youth suicides from Esperance, Leonora, Kalgoorlie. And in a 2 or 3 week period, there were quite a number, as well as attempts. You know, there's never one thing. You know, you've got the hopelessness that they feel is from, you know, neglect, abuse, you know, family violence, boredom, and you mix drugs and alcohol, which masks, you know, that pain that's underneath, but then it opens it up, you know. It is like something simmering to the surface. A lot of the families say, we didn't know. We didn't know, it just, well, how did this happen? Well, I had 2 attempts in 2004, no one knew. And I was very good at faking that I was okay. It's these young people that are taking their lives. You fellas live in the community and you're young people yourself. How does that make you feel, you know?
Some of these young fellas probably think it's okay to, you know, take their own lives when they see other people, like other young fellas do it. Maybe it's their friend and one of their family, you know. It makes me worried, pretty much. What's going to happen next?
Where does that decision come from? What do you think?
Maybe family violence and looking at too much history of violence and too much alcohol in the community.
Alcohol.
Yeah, and you get funny decisions from that.
You're saying that when they're drunk or something, they make
Too
the
young
decision?
to handle the alcohol.
Too young, eh?
Yeah.
Are they hurting at the same time?
Yeah. They can't tell somebody, so they want to hurt themselves to try not to think about it.
Bro, do you know anyone that's committed suicide?
There's a few people that I knew.
Yeah.
Just part of their drinking and thing.
Yeah.
Drugs type of thing that gets them.
Can I go back to you on that?
No.
I just want to ask, bro, anyone in your family or that you know personally that have died of suicide?
Yeah. My young niece in front of the house, we didn't know nothing that she was drinking that night, and it happened just like that, and didn't know nothing that she was suiciding herself that night. Yeah. We got a shock. We didn't even know that was happening outside of the house.
How old is
She was
that
about
one?
16, 17 when that happened.
16, 17. Too young, so young.
We all was in shock. Didn't know how to go about it. We thought thought it was just someone else, or, you know, it must be another family from a different place. But
I know three young fellas, you know. One, he used to stop here. I was sitting next to him, like, having a good yarn a couple of nights before, and that day happened. I was just in shock, like, far out. Like, was there something I could have said or anything? To me, I should have asked him, like, what's going on, you know? Like, how are you these days? Makes me so sad, angry. Sometimes when I sit back by myself, I always think about him and don't know where to go from there, eh? Like,
My children are 17 and 20 now, but they've been going to funerals their whole lives, probably, you know, most weeks, their whole lives. And many of those would have been the result of suicide. Just last weekend, my daughter rang me to come help because she was with a young niece who was 15 who was trying to take her own life. In the first 5 years of life, a child needs to develop a belief in themselves, that they are loved, that they are important, and that they have some sort of important purpose in life or talent. Often families are not aware of that, and they're busy with lots of other things. For Aboriginal families, it's particularly things like homelessness, death, grief, loss, incarceration, poverty, all the things that occupy parents' and grandparents' minds. I think another really significant factor is that a lot of these kids are not getting the opportunity to discover their talents and their passions because a lot of services have been withdrawn from communities, and so then as teenagers they feel lost, they feel hopeless, and they feel like there's no future for them.
He had a lot on his mind, but just no one there to talk to.
How do you feel about it?
Hurt, lost. After my brother, like a week, 2 weeks after, then there was like, I don't know, 4 more.
And Charlie, how many people do you know that have taken their lives?
6.
Why do you think they're doing it?
No sense of belonging. They didn't think they had anyone to talk to. I don't know.
What impact has it had on you?
I don't know, it's just unfair that they didn't know that I was there for them to talk to. Like, they didn't know they... So it always plays in your mind like, oh, you know, one little thing could have changed, but...
In little towns like this here in our town, there's nothing really for our young people. They just look at the role models, oh, what are they doing? Oh, drinking, smoking, you know. And they just think that's the norm. We need things for them to do. Start groups, I don't know, anything. A place where they can feel safe and, you know, wanted, loved. I mean, yeah, you don't know what goes on in people's homes, you know.
What keeps you going?
Just the rest of my children and grandchildren.
This is Reg. Hello, Pop.
old was he?
17. Would have been 18 in January. That's what he used to wear around. His sunnies and his bandana around his head. He was a clown of the family. Yeah. He used to make us laugh. There is this line here, there's about 4 suicides. Very close. Before Christmas and after Christmas. Along here. Yes. All young people. It's hard, isn't it? We was hoping to raise enough money to get a tombstone for him, you know, by the end of by the anniversary. But we're still working on that. We opened up an account for him and we just put in whatever we can afford. Just dancing in the sky. I play it every time I come out here.
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything.
We as a community have drifted from our cultural values and the principles of what we are as a people. We haven't lost it. We can restore it because there's strength within our community. We are all part of this responsibility. And the responsibility is everyone's, including the young people that are thinking about this.
Sometimes suicide can separate families because someone would think, you know, like, oh, well, your fault, you did that to that person and now they're not here. So like when I think about it, I don't want to be the reason for my parents to separate.
Most of these kids don't really want to kill themselves. They don't want to end their life. They want to change their life. But they can't see how they can possibly change their life.
And if that story has raised concerns for you or anyone you know, you can call Lifeline on 13 11 14 or Beyond Blue on 1300 22 4636.